Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. It is completely free of charge, and we have got lots and lots of exciting new projects up and coming. Chris is just back from his holidays, been down at Yorkshire or up at Yorkshire. I knew I'd get it wrong, it's that way somewhere. Welcome back to the channel and a new video. We are back on the little smart car. Now, in the last video we left it, a lot of you do always say, why don't you get a dent man round to do that car? How many times have you read it, Chris, in the comment section? And sometimes it is past that, or it's a lot more work to get someone round to do a dent in it. This car I personally thought was a good candidate. Got a dent repair man round for an appointment. He come and looked at it and said, yeah, lovely, I'll be out to do it on such and such date. And on the morning of that date, he actually texted me and said, I've changed my mind, I don't think that car's a good candidate and I won't be coming today. Make of that whatever you will. So anyway, it's been sat here a long time. We can't keep just standing here looking at it. We have got some parts for this, and I think it's going to be quite exciting about those particular parts, because it's anyway, look, let's get it in the workshop and then we'll get them parts out, continue with it, and we'll show you what we got. But if you missed part one on this, we bought it off some lady. It had been damaged. We put a leather interior in it and really pulled this little car together.
Yeah, click here, Rob.
Yeah, click here somewhere if you want to watch part one. Chris will chuck that up there for you. Anyway, mate, it's nice to have you back. You had a nice week away.
Yeah, very nice, Rob. Very nice.
I had a week wandering around the yard. They've probably already seen that video, doing little bits on everything. Let's get this in and get it on the road. Let's get it ready.
Yep.
So in with a little smart car, and we're both going to tackle this one straight up on the ramp, bonnet off the same as last time, and straight on to removing the complete front bumper, the bumper, the grille, everything. And Chris is going to crack straight on with stripping it all down. Get everything out of that bumper, the little side lights, loads of little plastic trims, loads of little bits and pieces. He's going to crack on. I'm going to start polishing that passenger side front wing with the little mop there and see if I can get some marks out of it. Right, so a fair bit of work there for Chris to strip that front bumper, and you're probably wondering, why is he stripping that to do the repair on it? Why are you stripping it, Chris?
Because we have a brand new, out the packet, in colour.
In colour. So
we've not looked at yet, Rob.
No. Do you want to pulling that off?
Yeah, because I'm going to put that cover back on it in a minute while I build it up. Yeah, while I build it up.
So the front bumper actually come from the dealer in colour. I can't remember the exact price. We'll do it in the numbers. But that bumper actually worked out cheaper to buy than it was to repair and paint.
Yeah, it was silly cheap.
The other front bumper.
Yeah, silly cheap, Rob, wasn't it?
It was silly cheap, really, for what it is in colour.
Yeah, beautiful.
Also, we ordered the front lower valance for the front bumper. Now, I don't know if you want to just quickly show these, Chris, while you've got your hands free. We ordered, that's the rear one, I believe.
Yeah, and they come well packaged, don't they?
Rear valance.
I won't take that right out.
In colour.
Nice.
Which is, it's brilliant, isn't it?
And it wasn't expensive, was it?
It wasn't. And also there, I mean, Chris don't even need to get that out, but that's the front splitter there. Also comes in the right colour. The back one we haven't taken off yet, but we've got that bit of damage there. So Chris is going to continue just building up that new front bumper to the old one, and why he's doing that, you couldn't actually see it on that bit of time lapse, but I actually polished that wing with the little handheld, just a little tiny handheld, soft, I don't know why I'm touching the top of it with me, soft head there, and a bit of G3. This wing was all scuffed, and it actually had the same scuffs as like that door in it. You can see there, quite deep into the paint. But I polished it and said to Chris, it actually looks like, we ain't even seen this yet, have you?
No.
It actually looks like we've got a brand new wing out of the packet.
Yeah, it's good.
And bolted that on as well. So I'm going to continue, well, if that's all right with you, if you don't need no help, you build that up, and I'm going to actually polish the whole side of this car and see how nice I can get it up. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Because the least amount of paint we can do,
that's right,
the better, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
for sure.
The bonnet is going to need polishing as well, but I've just used a bit of thinners or panel one, I can't remember what I used there, to get that L plate impression off of there. So that's going to need a bit of work as well. But mate, we'll leave you to get on with that.
All right, matey.
And I'll get on with this.
Cool.
So I'll carry on with the door, and then Chris starts the process of building up that front bumper. I've only got the little drill there with a little tiny mop head on it, using a bit of G3 and then some Jenny Chem quick wax over the top of it, wiping it off with a cloth, and it's actually coming up really nice, and a lot of the marks and dinks are coming out. Fair bit of messing around with both of us there, but I can see a nice reflection in the side of that car now, so we really are getting there with that, and it seems to be cleaning up okay. I also did the driver's side front wing, but that's as far as I got, and Chris has rebuilt that complete front bumper. You can see everything all clipped back in. We've put that lower bumper valance in there as well, and that bolts excuse me, bolts underneath the car. Everything's back in, and Chris just pointed out you've got a couple of little push clips here, one each side, and they've got to line up with these have you got your mic? Oh, you have got your mic, yes, on. Mate, yeah. With the headlights. So we are pretty much offer it up, get it plugged in, and fingers crossed that's the front end done, isn't it?
I think so, mate. I think so.
We're not going to live film that, are we? We're going to
just put it on time, mate.
Yeah,
shall we,
I've
Rob?
got the tripod here, but fingers crossed that all went together all right, didn't it?
Yeah, just a case of putting it all in the right order, isn't it?
Yeah. So, well, luckily you'd only just taken it apart.
Well, that is it. That is the thing, isn't it?
Right, let's get it on now. So on with that new front bumper. Blink and you'll miss that. That was so quick, and it really does look lovely. But in a minute I'll show you it does look slightly different where it's plastic, but we're going to get that, and we have it all the time. I know we've had some people in the comments say, well, I'll paint plastic, I'll paint for a living and I'll get a perfect match, and there's no denying that you probably do, but these cars, when you're buying these brand new panels and they're coming and they wasn't painted at the same time, there is always a difference between the plastic and the metal panels, but all back together, and this one is starting to look good. Oh, we got right into it there, and it's really starting to look really nice. I wish we'd have done it a bit sooner. It's such a shame that it's been sat out there for a little while. But it's proper popping as well, that colour. It really does pop. Looks nice now, especially on the camera. Everything all bolted back on. Everything, all the wheel arch liners are in. Wheels are back on, but you can see, if you look at that one, it is slightly right hand down. And if you look at that one, it's actually almost straight, so the tracking is miles out on it. But that is the front end, and right down that side done, and I definitely think we'll get away without doing any paintwork down the side of this car. There's a little tiny bit more there I'm going to concentrate on, and you've got that one little ding there, and then this side I've just wiped some of the dirt off the back door and the front door. I haven't polished them yet. And then where the L plate was on here, it has left quite a nasty impression. Chris is going to get a bit of 1200. 1200?
Yep, 1200.
1200 wet and dry on there, and just give that a gentle rub off. But I should think that probably comes in colour as well, being plastic, don't you? That
probably,
bonnet.
yeah. Probably,
so
mate.
There's not a lot of paint on it. He's going to have to go very gingerly with that. But we'll let Chris do that, and I'm going to do the rest of the side of it, and then we'll move on, I guess, to the back valance and have a clear up. Chris is already on that. Right, let's crack on, but we are getting there with it. Just a quick pause there to say a huge thank you to Car Vertical for sponsoring today's video. As you can see on this particular report, odometer all green and clear, financial and legal all green and clear, and damaged all green and clear. There is nothing to show on this check in particular, but when you do go to timeline, there is an MOT failure there, and it does give you the registration date, and of course shows you everything that car failed on its MOT. So if you're going to buy that car, of course you can check that all of those have been done, because that was the 7th 2023, so that was its most recent MOT. Check this one out that me and Chris was actually bidding on down at the auction, and we thought that don't look right, let's run a check. So this particular vehicle is actually a Range Rover Evoque, and you can see there it says damage needs attention, and when you click on it, it actually says this vehicle was damaged, of course it's going to, and then it says 12th 2023 S structural repairable. Now this car was actually listed as unrecorded, and what that means is, I'm going to say this, a lot of you say, why does it say it's unrecorded and it's gone through insurance and it's not? And what you've got to allow is the insurance companies sometimes take weeks, even months, to update their records.
So don't forget, you can always use Car Vertical and use our nice little discount code you'll see up on screen now, or click the link in the description where it will automatically apply your discount. So a bit tricky with a back bumper getting this off. There is a couple of little trim clips underneath those rear lights, and they need popping up so that we can pull that bumper out. Once we get those out, we can pull it off as just one little wiring loom for the number plate lights, and then we'll remove that rear splitter because we're using the original bumper on with that new splitter, and then all back together with the little clips and straight back onto the car. And there we go, on the car, those two clips back in under the lights. That rubber needs lining up all the way along, and then you've got just various little screws underneath, so one under the wheel arches and then two underneath the back of the bumper.
Well, this ugly little duckling is turning into a beautiful little swan, if I may say so. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. You're either going to love this or hate this little car, but I think it's quite a cool little town car, and look how it's coming along. I have just only done this patch with the little tiny DA there, not the DA, the polisher, and you can still see a faint line now of where that L plate was. But it's certainly an improvement, and I don't think that warrants painting that bonnet. I'm not trying to talk myself out of a bit of paintwork here, but I don't think that's going to need painting now. Once that's had a good clean, I think that's going to look okay. I have polished down this side, and you can see, look, that wing looks completely different colour. You stand around here and guess what? It still looks a completely different colour. That is just a bit of polish. This is plastic, this is metal, so there's a difference in it, and it don't matter how close or far away you get. There's a discrepancy there, clearly, isn't there? But then the front bumper looks slightly different to the wing. I guess with these plastic metal panels, we've been through it before, it's going to show that, isn't it? Polishing that is just highlighted how many little marks and dinks there is in that door. There is quite a few little dings. That one I managed to polish and get most of the marks out of it. There is still a few little bits in there, and of course that quarter panel as well. And then I've done the same where that L plate was around the tailgate there, and you can see I've left a lot of polish on it. So is it going to need paint work? Possibly still going to need paint work. You got that little ding there, but for the moment I want to concentrate on getting this tracked up, because look at that front wheel, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's towing out a little bit, and then that one's actually towing out this way, so it definitely wants tracking up, and it's going to need a good clean. And I need to check the MOT. I'm not sure how long this has got. The inside of it shouldn't need that much of a clean. Chris did go to town on this when he took the seats out. You remember this actually had a dog in here and it was awful. Anyway, let's stop waffling, let's get on with it and get this done. I'm not going to recall too much of this, but it is absolutely miles out, and I knew it was miles out. Just driving over here, it drove atrocious. So we'll let him finish that off and then give it another go. We know it's come to an end when we get here. Look how nice that M4 is. See the colour of that, and it had a really weird sort of quad exhaust in the middle of the car. Anyway, onto our cute little smart car. Really does look the part now. Just getting it cleaned up, getting all those white dots off that I just covered it in, polishing it. I still haven't learned it. Chris said his mate used to do it and didn't get one white dot anywhere. How he did that, I'll never know, but this one's come up lovely. Said it before I went out, mate, it's never going to be a Lamborghini, but look how clean it cleaned up.
Yeah, it's tidied up well, hasn't it?
Really well, I think,
yeah,
for what it is.
Very good.
And that front bumper and splitter really set it off, hasn't it? But I did say I made a bit of a joke of it earlier. You weren't here. I went, look, standing here, you can see there is a discrepancy there. But when you stand around here, no, it's still there.
Yeah.
But, mate, it has got a few marks and dinks around it. And I think cleaning and polishing and cleaning it really does highlight
it does,
that, doesn't it?
But it does. So is it MOT'd now?
No.
Right.
Oh, do you know what? I forgot all about that. I've took it for a valet. I've taken it for trekking. But have a look at that in there now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've done a fantastic job of it anyway.
It smelt a lot better, I must admit.
Yeah.
But
I'll definitely run this over for an MOT, because I think it's only got a month or so left on it, didn't I? I said. So, yeah, it's going to have a year's MOT on it.
Yeah, I mean, it has got a few battle scars around it,
It has
hasn't it?
got a few battle scars. But what do we want to do? He's had a bit, I mean, we won't get into the videos, but he's having a bit of a problem with our 1 Series at the paint shop.
Yeah, and
So-
we didn't have a lot of joy with the PDR, man, as you've mentioned earlier.
I mean, I've spoken to someone else and he said he can get it, but it's time, isn't it? And how long do we sit on this car? It's already sat in the yard far too long. Should we have a little quick go round and we'll see what people say in the comment section down below? We've definitely got that little one now, and a PDR man's going to get that out, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a
You've
little
got-
one here, isn't there?
Yeah, a little one there in this seal. They're plastic, they're not going to be, there's no damage
No,
on that.
no.
That's come up lovely now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, a
that
little
door.
mark on this door,
Yeah.
bit there.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
highlighted a bit.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one there.
And a little one in the back door there. Where do you want to be?
Well, we got a queue of cars to go for paint, haven't we?
Yeah.
PDR man hasn't turned up, so I guess offer it for sale how it is.
Yeah,
If no one wants it, we'll park it up, and it'll just join the queue, won't it?
yeah.
But in the meantime, we could do a crunch of numbers on it, and like I say, you
Yeah, a
could
bit like we did on that white van.
white van.
The great big
Oh
white
yeah,
van.
yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah.
and doors haven't
Waiting for the doors, yeah.
materialised, have they yet? But so yeah, do that if you like.
Well, shall I run it over for an MOT first so that
Yes.
we're completely
Yes,
done?
just in case there's anything
and then
we've
we'll
missed.
yeah,
It's always a good idea, isn't it?
definitely. And then we will crunch the numbers on it, I guess.
All right.
Everyone's going to want to know, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'll let you crack on, mate. I know you've been
All
really
right.
busy down
All
in that
right.
yard.
Yeah,
Let's do
okay.
that. Typical, it weren't until I hit the upload button I realised that we haven't actually done the numbers. I'm sitting on my driveway, you can probably just about see over here, little Louis, you can actually see him, sitting on the settee there, sunbathing, watching me out the window. Anyway, we're going to get on to the numbers on the little smart car. So the purchase price, this will shock everyone actually, what that little car's worth. Purchase price, we paid £2,000 for that in the condition that it was in, and that was an absolute steal. Now of course that's what they asked us for it, that's what we paid for it. Transport, I went and collected it on our truck, but it was quite a way, so we've got down there £100 for fuel, and I think it was all of that. Now we changed the seats to leather, we didn't need to. We could have quite easily valeted the cloth seats that was in it, but it made so much sense to buy them, and when I get to this price you'll see why. So the seats, the LCD screen, the windscreen wiper stalks, the rear axle, the front subframe, front struts and a door mirror. And I'm not going to pretend we didn't really get looked after there, because we always do, and that was from Reclamet at £500. Now it would have been a bit cheaper if we didn't have the seats, but like I say, them seats have made all the difference to that car, and I think that you would all agree. And of course with Reclamet you've got your 10% discount just by mentioning us, SR10, you'll get 10% off of all of their stuff. So smarts, we had no choice. The wheels on that car were awful, and one of them had quite a bang. I was worried that it was going to be buckled and we'd have to get a new one. They're tiny little wheels. We went for a standard refurb and they charged us £240. And of course smarts as well, they're in Maidstone, Smart Surfaces South East. If you want to use them, mention us. I do know that they'll give a little bit of a discount as well. A tie rod end and a lower arm we bought new for £97.36p. The front bumper, the front splitter plus the brackets and the rear valance, sorry I'm trying to get away from that steering wheel, but it's not going to work, is it? I can keep moving but the steering wheel's not going to. All of that come to £477 from the dealer. That stuff all new and arrived in colour, which was amazing, because we haven't ended up taking that car to the paint shop, have we? Tracking, valet and an MOT, I've rounded this up to 110, and I think I'm just about there with it. So not a great deal to repair that car. There was quite a bit of work there, but I mean parts wise it looked awful when it first arrived, didn't it? But I think we've turned that round for a reasonable total price of £3,524
and 46p. And if you go on the internet now and try and find one of those cars, they are 7 grand upwards. And that is a real nice little car. It has got those little marks and dinks. I mean, they go from 7 to 10. It's got the little marks and dinks in the paintwork. Yes, it's not recorded as salvage, which it wasn't, but we know that it's had some work, hasn't it? Nothing structural, nothing major, but we are going to ask for that car £6,000, leaving enough in it, of course, for the next man, and giving myself and Chris a pre-tax profit of £2,475.54. Now, for the work we've done there, that is an absolutely cracking profit, and I think that you're all going to agree with that. It is going to be coming up on Instagram very soon, so if you are interested, don't forget, follow us on Instagram, so that when you see that, as soon as you see that post go out, you can message us on our email, and that's sales@gmail.com. The car will not be for sale until I've put it on Instagram. That's going to be the end of today's video. As usual, we do hope you did enjoy it. If you did, hitting that thumbs up is free of charge, and we really do appreciate it. And of course, it shows your appreciation. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that share button, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.